lot of news lately about student loans and going into default and collections. And over 10 years ago, I think it's like 15 years ago, I took out $132,000 worth of debt for my 3 children to be able to go to college, Parent Plus loans. They took out their own debt. They've managed that. They've been able to pay it off because, when you're a student, you only get to take out a small amount. So they were able to pay that back. So it's been, again, like 15 years. I took out the loan, $132,000. I went onto my portal the other day just to see like what I owe, how much, I'm signed up for the SAVE Act, right? And the SAVE Act is something that Biden did. The SAVE Act says that if you pay a certain amount, my amount was $260, that it would go away after 20 years. You pay that amount for 20 years. After 20 years,
Jesus
whatever's left,
Christ.
it's gonna go away.
20 years. 20. I get brokenhearted a lot of times when I see people of a certain age take out a 30-year fixed mortgage. And it'd be like, okay, so by the time that you get 80, if you 50 or 55 and you turn 85, then you got to hope to live that long. And then eventually you wind up paying it off. Now imagine that you take out a 20-year loan. And not only did you take out a 20-year loan, but your children actually paid their portion, but then you took out an additional $132,000 on behalf of your children, and you said that you was going to pay it back over a span of 20 years. Oh my gosh. I don't think that people are looking at student loans the way that they're supposed to look at them. If you take out a business investment, right? Let's say you take out a small business loan so that you can open up your business, which I don't believe in. I think that people should be able to vet out the concept and then proof it for less than $3,000, right? And then once you get that business up and running and you can prove that it is successful, then you take out any monies that you need in order to expand, because you may be limited by whatever it is that's minimizing whatever your sales could be, but the sales have proven themselves to be true. So you take out the loan so that you can expand the business so that you can make more money. Obviously, you can pay the loan back much quicker, but you're taking less of a risk because you've already proven out the concept. We have real life proof of concepts, right? Meaning that we can actually go into certain curriculums and then we can pretty much tell you exactly what you're going to be making when you come out of school. And we need to look at these loans as investments, but they're so available to everybody, which, you can't really say that, hey, you shouldn't make it available to everybody, because then they're going to be complaining on that end. They're going to say, well, it's systematic pressure to prevent us from being successful because it's not accessible to everybody. Okay, you make it accessible for everybody, and then everybody is not responsible enough to actually take care of their business and pay their loans back. So now you see this grown woman who, it sounds like her children are more responsible than she is about taking out these loans because she couldn't afford them in the first place. But for whatever reason, you felt compelled to take out $132,000 in student loans. Let me ask you another question. Can you afford a $132,000 car? If you can't afford a $132,000 car and then be able to pay it off within 60 months, which I would say you should be able to pay it off immediately before you buy it, but then you financing it so you can let that money make other monies for you, and then that helps to pay for it. But if you cannot afford a $132,000 car, you cannot afford $132,000 in student loans. That's really the rule of thumb. And you got to look at it as an investment instead of looking at it as an entitlement.
So some people are like, oh, it's like a mortgage. You can't just default on a mortgage. You can't just like wave that away. So $132,000 is what I took out. My interest rate is 7.75, which is insane, right? My new balance after 15 years of paying is $186,000. I went to the analytics.
Which means she was on an income-based repayment plan, hoping to get it forgiven, but it didn't actually go towards the principal. 100% of it went towards portions of the interest, but the interest continues to roll over, which means that it's just multiplying on itself. If you don't play towards the principal, eventually, whatever your interest rate is going to be applicable to whatever that new amount is that you've taken out. So it's just going to grow. It's going to compound, and you can't get rid of it.
Not $1 of what I have paid has gone through to the principal. 100% of all the payments that I have been making have gone to the interest. So my new balance after 15 years is $186,000 instead of $132,000. So for all those people that are out there saying, oh, you shouldn't take the money out if you can't pay the debt, it's just like a mortgage. You knew what you were getting into.
It's basic math.
It's not like a mortgage. It's not at all. As a matter of fact, according to the portal, without any notification, I haven't got an email, I haven't got a letter, I haven't got anything. January 1st, my loan payment is supposed to go up to $2,000 a month. I'm not paying $2,000 a month. Are you kidding me? That's part of my mortgage. So
these people are so irresponsible. This is basic math. It's basic math.
So for all of you people out there that are, oh, you shouldn't take out a loan. Oh, it's just like a mortgage. It's not the same. If you have the ability to not go into student loan debt, don't do it. It's insane. It's a scam. It needs to be overhauled.
It's not a scam. And this is the part where we all gonna disagree. I don't believe that it is a scam. I believe that you made a decision. How is it a scam? How is it any different than any other loan except for it's supposed to be applicable for your child to go to school, which is an investment so that they can then make more money than they otherwise would have had they not went to school. It's not, student loans are not a scam. I, as a 18-year-old young guy, trust me, it was a long time ago. What was that, like 25 years ago? I'm 43. Basic mental math. I, as an 18-year-old young guy, went to a private college straight out of high school. And in that first semester, I looked at it. And so, I paid. I had my work study job. That's when I was working at the library. I literally took every single dime that I made outside and inside. And, obviously I had got a Pell Grant at the time. And so everything that I had went into that. And it was like a minimal amount of student loans. And I was horrified. I think it was like $1,900 for that semester that I owed in addition. And then I went to the plant right after that. And that's when my brother got me a job at the plant. And I was working at the steel mill and I paid that junk off immediately because I was mindful enough and I understood that, you know what? I don't even want this thing lingering. And I got the hell up out of that private college, which I was supposed to be going to be a mechanical engineer, but I was hanging out in the student union all the time and having a good old time and all of that stuff. And so I did okay. But at the same time, that one semester showed me, and I know that we was just having this conversation about men going to college and stuff like that, but that one semester showed me, wait a minute, I'm not even sure that this makes sense at this time for me to go into this, because if I take out all of these loans and I'm going to owe all of this money and I'm going to be drawing all of this interest on it, I was mindful at 18. At 18 years old, I was understanding enough of it. And so you're telling me that a woman that has 3 kids, that is a parent, didn't know, because in everything else, it's applicable. If you do a car, you do a credit card, you do a mortgage, you do all of these things. They send you a statement on your student loans. Every single month, they send you a statement. Just because you don't want to log into the portal, just because you think you ain't going to look at it, it did not go away. They send you a statement, then it tells you this how much is going towards the interest, this how much is going towards the principal. By law, they have to send you a statement. So then you're going to tell me that you didn't know that it was supposed to be paid off and you didn't know that it was supposed to be taken care of, and that's just the end of the conversation? Come on, man, dog. These people know what's going on. And anytime something happened that people don't like, they then call it a scam. It's a scam. It's a scam. No, it's not. You signed up for it, pay it back. You signed up for it, pay it back. And now that Trump is saying all of these adults need to hold themselves accountable, which hopefully will inform the next generation of people that every single time that you decide that you want to take out a student loan, it's going to be problematic for you. Maybe they'll think twice. Maybe they'll pick a different curriculum. Maybe they'll choose to go to community college first and then transfer over to a major university. Maybe they'll leverage their employer's tuition assistance or reimbursement program. Maybe they'll look for alternatives. But the one thing that we can't do is we can't skirt responsibility and act like we didn't know what was going on. We're not having that. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life.